After the fall of a dear companion at the hands of trolls, Chris and Steve pressed on toward the fiery mountain in Madison. How would they now find their way, and adding to their perils, a secret pursuer?
Pass that bottle of Liney's?
We're going in circles, Mr. Chris.
Oh wait, hold this. Oh, look who tweeted. You have my flintlock. Dude, cool. We will definitely not throw it away. Right.
I feel like we're being followed.
Yes, we have, since Moria. He's close now.
Over there! Uh-huh. He's kind of cute. So, what are we going to do? We're lost. Can't we just take I-90?
No. Combine of Dunland.
Huh?
Birds, dude.
Oh. Dude, are you okay? Seriously, do you want like a lozenge or something? Dude, go see a doctor, man!
It's not his fault. The law has corrupted him for the last 241 years.
Is he redeemable?
We can only try. I bought a cool hat. Smeagol, try this on. Makes it all too soon for him. But he knows a secret way.
Yes, but can we trust him?
Well, it's either that, or we try one of my secret passages.
Oh God, no, I'm done. Nope, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Come on, Smeagol. Hey everyone, and welcome to my tube. My name's Steve.
And I'm Chris.
And this week's episode is going to be all about the war on drugs. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history first. The war on drugs was started in 1970, 71?
Not 1776?
No. So yeah, the war on drugs was started by our buddy Tricky Dick.
Yep.
Good old
a lot of
Richard.
that kind of stuff had been going on for some time, but he kind of gave it a name.
Yep.
And he really pushed it to the next level.
Yep. Well, the reason why he did it was because of political reasons.
It's pretty clear now.
Yeah, because most people that were like into say marijuana or some of the lesser, harsher drugs tend to be more liberal voters.
And I mean, if you can come up with some pretense to lock up, protesters and shit,
Might as well.
You're gonna find that most laws are a pretense for getting rid of people you don't like.
Yeah, there's a lot of those, especially ones about bad hats. So some of the ways they deal with the war on drugs is to give money to foreign countries to fight the cartels and drug makers. Is that what they're called? Drug makers? Drug growers? Producers,
that's the word.
Ah.
Ha.
We
We're on
know.
the ball today, people.
We know what we're talking about.
Ha.
They give the money to these countries to fight the cartels, and it ends up causing almost actual war in these countries.
Yeah. I mean, verging on civil wars.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially in places like Colombia, where we spend millions of dollars to stop it, but yet it doesn't seem to be that effective.
not so much.
I would think the amount of money spent versus what's actually done is so disproportionate that it's almost pointless. You know, and because of the culture behind it, this is the way I like to think of it, is you have a lot of police raids and a lot of cops being a little over-aggressive at times.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they find a bag of pot on somebody, and next thing you know, they're throwing them down and cuffing them. And it's like, it's a bag of pot, man. Like, why do you gotta be so rough with it?
Got a report, not always accurate, mind you, that someone's growing something and be knocking down their door at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Or like they did in, I want to say it's Florida, where they threw the flashbang grenade into the crib with the little baby.
And isn't it mostly the war on drugs that's led to the militarization of our police?
Yeah. I don't think there would be any need to militarize them if it wasn't for the illegal gangs and stuff like that are peddling the drugs. If they weren't illegal, there'd be no reason to have cops with tanks.
Before we go any farther, we have a question from my tater bestie, Mrs. Jessica Baird.
Why do conservatives think that prohibition will work on drugs but not on guns, and liberals think it'll work on guns but not on drugs?
So yeah, prohibition. Yeah, it's ridiculous that for the same reasons it doesn't work on guns, it doesn't work on drugs. It actually makes the problem worse.
Does prohibition work on really anything? Because I mean, if you think
even
about
murder,
it, like,
you can only prohibit after the fact, right?
yeah, like there's nothing you can actually make illegal that can't be done because it's illegal.
Yeah.
And sometimes, depending on the situation, when you make something illegal, you actually make it worse than if it was legal. Like, say, abortion. You know, you can make abortion illegal, but people would have really dangerous abortions.
Anything that you're going to make illegal that's a fairly commonly traded good or service, you're just handing another revenue stream to gangs, cartels,
Mafias.
Yeah,
if you look at prohibition, the one that most people think about when you hear the word prohibition of alcohol, it gave rise to the mafia.
it pretty much made Al Capone.
Yeah. So anytime we stop something that's a good or service, like you said, and make it illegal, there's still a market for it. There's always going to be, like, if there's a market for it to begin with, there's going to be one after it's illegal. And somebody's got to fill that void because the legal sellers can't sell it no more, or they just won't.
Yeah, and of course I'm not going to say every person who deals drugs or deals in illegal guns is necessarily an evil person.
No.
They might just be trying to take advantage of the situation.
Well,
But you're going to hand it over to a hell of a lot of bad people that way.
yeah. When you start discussing the war on drugs, you have to think about its impact and what it's accomplished and what it's done, good or bad. Mostly bad.
Mostly.
I think one of the main things for me that I think that it's done is jail. Putting people in jail for a victimless crime.
I just don't know how you're going to come at somebody and say, oh, you can't hurt yourself anymore, so we're going to ruin your life to stop you from hurting yourself.
Yeah.
It's stupid. You throw people in jail for this kind of thing, and they get out, and that's on their record forever, and who's going to want to hire them? So if they weren't trying to sell drugs before, they're going to be trying to sell drugs now.
Or rob and steal to get the drug or to get food and money and whatever else they might need.
You run them out of options.
You create a criminal class when you do that. Anytime you make something illegal, you automatically create a criminal class, no matter what the thing you made illegal is.
Yeah, not to get into conspiracies, but there's a lot of people who think that's by design to have a permanent underclass using the laws.
I could see that to an extent. I don't know if it's on purpose. I think it's a pleasant side effect for those people in charge.
That's more my line.
Yeah. It's like, well, they're all going to jail and it's keeping them permanently poor and it's keeping them in need of the government, which is us, and therefore, we can fight bicker back and forth between ourselves but not change much. One of the other issues it seems to have is tearing families apart. A good proportion of the time it's men who deal the drugs or use the drugs and they get arrested and get taken away from their families. Now you have children growing up without fathers who get into the same situation, go to jail, father children, and the cycle just repeats itself.
I'm never going to say that, it's not a bad thing that people are doing these hard drugs and dying, but the way they're trying to prevent that is ruining so many more lives.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen these families torn apart because someone has to go away for a few years because of shooting up or snorting or whatever, you're not helping anything.
Not at all.
Yeah, and we touched on the whole black market thing before. And when you got black markets, you got people who are trying to turn a profit. They don't know their customer. If they're a lot of times they're not going to care then about selling them stuff that's cut.
Well, and there's no repercussion for it either, because in a free market, if somebody sells you a bad thing, you can go on Facebook, you can go on this and that, and like what happened with United.
Yeah.
But
you can't complain. Oh, I bought this crack and it was bad, man.
But my dealer cut it with something something else. I don't even know what you cut crack with. Okay, so here we are bashing the war on drugs. If it ends tomorrow, let's just say, are there any good solutions to replace it or to fix what's happening now? What can we as libertarians do or hope that will happen?
Well, you probably wouldn't expect me to say this, being, an anarchist, and taxation is theft, but as long as tax dollars are being used on this whole thing, it would use a whole lot less tax dollars than prison? Rehab.
Oh, yeah.
We could still save money.
Ooh. And you would save lives.
Wow. What a concept.
Yeah, if you send someone to rehab who is using, and instead of sending them to jail where they'll just get clean, come back, get back on it, so forth, they have a better chance. Yeah, rehab doesn't always work, and they tend to be in rehab over and over again, just like jail. But there's also those people who, the first time they go to rehab, they get out and they're done. So that's a positive gain.
Not to mention, when you pile all these legal problems onto somebody, sometimes for things that were years ago, that urge to escape reality just becomes so strong. You're going to be increasing the amount of relapses. You just are.
One of the things we can do right now, and a good portion of the country, more than 50% of the country's for it, is legalizing marijuana.
People, despite everything Jeff Sessions has been trying to tell us, you're not going to turn to a pillar of salt if you smoke a joint. You're not.
Like Lot's wife?
Do you have a lot of wives?
Lots.
Oh, yeah.
Lots. Not like as in a lot, but Lot's wife.
Oh.
Now, a lot of libertarians want to legalize all drugs right now. Boom. Just boom, legalize. Done. I'm not necessarily on that thing completely, but not against it completely.
Yeah, I'm not against it in theory, but we're at a point right now where we get to do sort of a dress rehearsal using marijuana and seeing...
Yeah, let's see if the amount of marijuana users go down or up. Oh wait, you don't overdose on marijuana. How about just the problems that associate with normal drug use? Are we going to have those issues with legal drugs?
The steps, boom, to decriminalization. We can see what worked, what didn't.
Yeah.
How to make it smoother.
If we were to legalize everything right now today, I personally think users would go up for a very short amount of time.
I could see a little temporary spike.
Yeah, because I think people that were like, hey, my friend's doing heroin right now, legally, I'll try it. It's kind of like with pot. I don't smoke pot, but if a friend was doing it, I was like, oh, I'll try it. So I tried it.
What I would anticipate over the long term is that whole forbidden fruit appeal being gone.
Right. That's what I was getting to that until you cut me off.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
You can say it.
No, you can say it. You just said it.
Okay.
There's no point in me saying it again when you just said it. That does make a little bit of sense. You'll get a few extra users that you probably wouldn't have had with it being illegal for a short amount of time. and then it'll just go back down because, as he said, it's a forbidden fruit, and it's kind of like when you turn 21, you don't drink as much usually, or you don't binge drink as much. You might drink more overall, but you don't binge drink as
A
much.
lot of people seem to slow down once they're legal.
Yeah, so that kind of makes a little sense, and that's the position I come from. Is
Yeah, a lot of people be like, it's there, meh.
all right, everyone. That's our episode. I hope you enjoyed, and due to the officer standing over there staring at us, not very nicely, we have to say, don't do drugs, kids. It's bad for you.
Officer, not so friendly.
Jesus Christ. He's going for his taser, dude. He's going for his taser! Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Don't worry, bro. Getting tased is always worth your first time. See ya.
Something else. I don't even know what you cut crack with.
Silly putty. Come on, who doesn't want cocaine they can copy comic book panels with?
Oh, that'd be cool. You'd be like,
Marmaduke. But that would hurt going up your nose,
Right.
though, man.
hold on, I gotta take a bump of Marmaduke.